Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Australia. You made it. You're
Yeah.
here already. We're delighted to join you in Hong Kong this morning. My name is Fiona Weebush, and I'd like to introduce you to our team, our co-founder of the Queensland Institute, Philippa Coleman,
Hi, everyone. Good morning.
and our lead trainer for the group will be Vicky Boss.
Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you.
And also joining us is our very important program support team member, Leslie. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Nice to see you.
So Leslie and Vicky and Philippa and I are really thrilled to meet everyone this morning and to have you join us on the immersion program. Before we say too much, I'd like to give our colleagues from the University of Hong Kong an opportunity to share their greetings with you all as we commence the program. I might hand over to you, Yun Yi, if that's all right.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Fiona. Thank you, Philippa, Vicky, and Leslie. Thank you. And students, nice to see you again. We actually met on Monday, so it's good to see them again. I've been teaching them this semester, so very good. You all made it to 8:30 orientation. That's very good start. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for making the efforts. Now, I would like to say thank you first to Fiona, Philippa, and colleagues from the Queensland Institute to offer this orientation for us so that our students are better prepared for the immersion experience. And students, you can ask any questions you have about immersion later. And just want to start off this orientation with our sharing and also some reminder for you. Actually, when we interviewed our JUPAS applicants every year, many applicants at the end, they always say they always ask questions about the immersion or exchange. So I believe immersion, this 6-week immersion in Australia is actually one of the highlights of our program. And I'm sure you are also excited about this opportunity and you want to learn about how language is learned and taught in another context, say in Australia. Now, we suspended the on-site immersion to Australia for a few years, I think for 3 years at least. So we changed it to e-immersion. Now we resume traveling. So you may wonder why we still have this hybrid immersion, like with 2 weeks online and then 4 weeks on site. I think it's because we think it's good or it's essential for you to still learn about some online teaching strategy. We don't know what will happen in the future. Maybe suddenly we'll also change to online one day. So it's good to equip our students with some techniques or with some understanding of how online teaching can work effectively. So that's why we still have this arrangement of hybrid immersion. And I would like to thank our colleagues of Queensland Institute because they are very brave to take up this challenge. It's not easy to design a hybrid immersion because the transition between the online component and on-site component is very challenging. It has to be very well designed. And they're actually our long-term collaborators. They are very experienced teacher educators. So they actually tailor-made their program for us, for Hong Kong U students. And we review the program every year to make it even better. So I would like to thank them. We are very grateful for them. And I will also encourage our students to make the best to make the most out of this immersion experience. I have already told you is a busy 6 week. Don't think that you can relax. It's like a traveling experience. Of course, it's a traveling experience. You are exposed to another context like the schools and also many other things. But then learning is still the key aim for this immersion course. I would say it's an immersion course. Don't forget it's a course. So I hope you can also dedicate to this experience, to these 6 weeks. And then I'm sure, I think actually for some, they always say it's a kind of life-changing experience for them. So I really encourage you to enjoy and also to make the best out of this experience. So thank you very much. And if you have any questions, please ask our colleagues. And I will see Vivian and Rowena, see if they have anything to add. Thank you.
I would like to add a little bit more on top of what Dr. Law had mentioned. Again, thank you so much for the colleagues from QI for designing this course. So notice that the hybrid mode, how online component and the site-specific component, they're actually correlated and actually very much strongly linked. So please be also very attentive when you're on the online session, because again, all the content will be covered and I will be linked to the site specific content. So the more you learn in the online session, the better you are aware, the more you learn in the site specific section. So one more thing about learning and making the most out of your experience is be open-minded with all experience. So one of the component of this, our hybrid or immersion program, is you'll be living or staying with host families. And I noticed that we are Hong Kong dwellers. We are very much night dwellers. So it's a cultural shock when you'll be here in Queensland. So most people are very new to staying too late at night or staying too getting up really early is their norm, I would say. So one more thing about being open-minded is open-minded to the cultural experience as well, cultural aspect of the experience as well. So be open-minded to cultural customs and what your host families are used to. And I think one thing is so important with host families is having that cultural exchange element with your families. So being able to stay with them has a huge benefit with you understanding the Queensland culture. But at the same time, because we're staying with the host families, we have to be considerate of the family's needs and also their habits and how our staying with them will cause hopefully the least disruption to their original habits or their routine. So that is something to be open-minded and be aware about as well. But I think colleagues from QI will also be talking to you a lot on this aspect of the program as well later on. So I think I will pass the time to
Yes.
Rowena or yes. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much and good morning, everyone. Actually, it is a great pleasure to welcome you to this orientation. So with great efforts and bravo coordination by the Queensland Institute, we are very pleased that the immersion program will get started very soon. And I suppose you all are very lucky guys that you will be welcomed and received by some Australian families 2 months later, very soon. So you also you will also have various opportunities to learn through, just like what Yunya just mentioned, through online and the face-to-face mode through this immersion program. So to help you understand more about the English learning program and activity, as well as the life in Brisbane, the co-founder and director of QI, Philippa and Fiona are going to walk you through in this orientation very soon. And in the end, you'll be able to see the homestay network manager, and you'll be walk through some useful tips of how to live a happy life and fruitful homestay life in Australia as well. So here on our side of HKU, actually Vivian and I has planned to visit you on site in Brisbane later on. So please feel free to contact us whenever you have any inquiry regarding the immersion program. So may I just now pass the time back to either Fiona or Philippa?
Thank you so much, Rowena and Vivian and Yuni. It's always lovely to work with you, and we also extend our thanks to you for your coordination and collaboration behind the scenes. It's also a challenge to put things together from Hong Kong U and make this opportunity available. In our experience, we work in 14 different countries as an institute, but Hong Kong U has always been the innovator in considering things like what do our students need for the future, and this blended immersion is a really remarkable innovation. So we love working with you to make that experience happen for your students who are now our students. So we're very happy to meet everybody and welcome you here. We're going to kick things off. However, I am aware that you perhaps may need to leave shortly. So we might do a little photo together first. Is everybody feeling ready for their on-camera photo? I'll give you a little countdown in a moment. Sabina, thank you. You can lower your camera. That's all good. I don't know if Elise, if you're set up yet, but there we go. Nice. Ada, welcome. I don't know if you're able to join us on camera. So let's see if we can get everybody in. And even Jade's cat, who we're happy to meet. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Charlton, Jenny, and Chloe, well done on getting all your heads in. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. The balloons came up. Is that a filter? What's going on?
Again, for the balloon.
Yeah, I'll do it one more time. I think the balloons covered your face. I don't know, maybe when you smile or something may happen. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Got it. No balloons. Love it. All right. Thank you, everyone. And thank you so much, Yunyi, for joining us. We understand you may have to leave at some point. So I'm going to hand over to Philippa now to open our orientation presentation, and I'll come back shortly.
Okay, thanks everyone. As Fiona mentioned, I'm Philippa Coleman, and I'm very pleased to also welcome you here. And I'd also like to extend my thanks to Yunyi and Vivian and Rowena for all the work that they've put in collaborating with us on this program. So for you students, this is your program, and we'd like to welcome you to the first day with the Queensland Institute. So as our Hong Kong colleagues have mentioned, this is roughly what we're going to do today. We'll talk a bit about who we are. We'll talk about our program. You get to watch a video about last year's program. We talk about what we're going to learn and how we learn it. And of course, that really important component, the evaluations. We're also going to talk a little bit about preparing to come to Brisbane. And we're going to be joined in the last half an hour by our homestay partner. And you've got the opportunity to listen to Leanne and also ask any questions that you might have at this point. So a little bit about us. As Fiona mentioned, the Queensland Institute was founded by Fiona and me, and we are also the directors. And we're based here in beautiful Brisbane. You can see the Brisbane River behind us and the skyscrapers of the CBD. So that's that you'll be coming to get to know that when you come and join us. Well, what do we do? Well, we help schools and universities to design and deliver practical professional development for language teaching and learning. And I suppose that's the difference, really. Our programs are really practical, and Fiona's going to talk a little bit more about that. We work across all sectors of international education, so primary, secondary, and tertiary, and we work with pre-service teachers like yourselves, and we also work with teachers who are already teachers. We operate a lot online, primarily in fact, but we also host in-person programs in Australia with our education partners like Hong Kong University. And we operate in 14 countries around the globe. Just a little bit about our story. I started work as the manager of teacher training and professional development at the University of Queensland in 2005. And during my time there, I got to know Fiona and I got to know Vicky and more recently Leslie. And together, Fiona and I started our Queensland Institute in 2020, which was actually the middle of the pandemic. as you will remember, and we started with this online training section, and more recently we diversified into some in-person programs as well. These are the countries that we work. You can see Brisbane there, it's the darker one. So that's in Australia. I wonder if you can identify any of the other countries that we work in by writing in the chat. Can you tell us some of the other countries that you recognize on that map? Chile, Mohammed, muy bien. Sí, señor. It is Chile, yes. Mexico, Berlinia, is it? Berlin, how do I say your name? Beautiful name.
It's a Berlinia.
Berlinia, beautiful name.
Yeah.
Thank you, Berlinia.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Japan, yes. Anson, yes. What other countries do you recognize there? Vietnam, yes. Bravo, Charlton, yes. And Jenny and Chloe. Taiwan, yes, we do a lot of work with teachers in Taiwan and university lecturers. Yeah. Anything else? Where are we missing, Fiona? There is one little country in the middle of the Pacific Ocean where we did some training a year or so ago. Yes, thanks, Fiona. It's called the Republic of Kiribati. So that's also really exciting. What are the other countries? Thailand, yeah, no, we haven't done any work in Thailand. And there's one country that we've missing from our map. We've also done some work in Brazil, so that was very exciting. Okay, thanks everyone. Okay, so as with any new class, we spend a little bit of time on getting to know each other. We're going to find out more about you in the first week of the program. But now's the opportunity for you to find out a little bit about our training team. So the 4 people who you're mostly going to meet on this program are here in the room with us today. So let's do a little true-false quiz to get us going. So true and false, it's pretty easy. You don't know us, so take a wild guess. That me, Philippa, I've taught young Colombian adults how to host city tours in English. Tell me in the chat, is that true or false? Take a guess. Do I look like someone who might have done that? Take a guess, true or false. Doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. Just a guess. Oh, Yo-Yo's saying true. Mohammed's true, true, true. Lots of trues, lots of trues. Okay, I must give myself away. Fiona. Has Fiona been a drama teacher in her past life? Oh, and Anson's saying false. Oh, but maybe true. I don't know. True, 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 true. Does Fiona look like the drama-y kind of type? What do you think? Bit of a mixture there, Fiona. Mixture, yeah. How about Vicky? Does she look like the musical type, the conducting type? Does she have a community choir for international students in Brisbane? What do you reckon? True or false? True or false? Okay. Few unsures. And then finally, Leslie, our beautiful program support, has taught English in Hubei, China, and Brisbane. What do you reckon? Does she look like a language teacher in 2 different countries? Okay, great. Lots of trues there for you, Leslie. Lots of trues there. Okay, fantastic. Well, now for the big reveal. Now for the big reveal. Can you do the music, Fiona or Vicky? The little. Okay, so the first
Drum
one.
roll.
Drum rolls, yeah. Brrr. Okay. Yes, did I teach young adults? Yes, I did. a while ago now, but I'm really passionate about real life English. And so I went to a city in Colombia and taught young adults who don't have the money to travel, let alone for English classes, how to host their city tour of their barrio. And so they got to practice English while showing and tour guiding tourists to their city, around their city, well, around their neighborhood, actually, not their city. I love doing things like that. So if you want to know more, please talk to me about that when you're here. I'd love chatting about it. Okay, number 2. Was Fiona a drama school teacher? Drum roll. Brrr. Fiona. Dum, dum, dum.
Well, I do love teaching drama workshops, but I actually began my career as a high school English and psychology teacher in Melbourne, Australia, which is my hometown. And then over many years, focused in on English language education and later in teacher education. So drama is still something I love to bring into the classroom, but actually I was a high school teacher of English and psychology.
Okay. All right then. Okay, so that one's false. Number 3, Vicky, do you have a community choir for international students? Dum, 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 dum.
Yes, I do. I conduct a choir for international students here in Brisbane, partly as a language activity because I'm very passionate about teaching language through music, but mostly as a community building activity and to support the mental health of international students in Australia. I do it through the School of Psychology at UQ. Does anyone here like singing? Can you put your hand up if you like to sing? Oh yeah, a few people. Oh yes. Oh, lovely. That's nice. That's nice. Interestingly, while you are going to be here in Australia, my choir will be performing publicly in the mall. And I would love to invite anyone who wants to come and join us and sing with us. You are very welcome if you learn fast.
You're saying yes already. Love it.
100%. Everybody is welcome. It's not an audition choir, it's a community choir, and we just love to get together and sing. So keep that in mind as something you might like to do with us when you're here.
Fantastic.
Every Wednesday night. So
Wednesday
yes,
night
that's
rehearsals.
Right. Yep. After class. Yeah, great. Thank you. Thank you, Vicky. That sounds really great. And finally, Leslie, have you taught English in China as well as Australia?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I believe most of you know about IELTS. So I was an IELTS trainer before in China. And right now I'm teaching general English in Australia at the moment.
Okay, great. So if you want to talk to Leslie more about that when you're here, you will be most welcome as well. It's you work at a language college in the city, is that right?
Yeah. I'm happy to share all the informations, anything you want to know.
Thank you, Leslie. Thank you. Okay, great.
She's also a Masters of TESOL graduate from the University of Queensland. So that's why she knows all the best spaces on campus to visit. So she'll also be sharing her insights of being a student on campus at the University of Queensland.
Welcome to find me.
Great.
Philippa?
Okay, well, look, thank you very much. There's no time today for us to find out a little bit more about you, but we're really looking forward to doing that when our program kicks off on the 27th of May. Yeah.
We should also mention that you will meet another one of our team members, Kira McManus, who's actually not here with us today, but she's going to come and do some guest workshops during the program. And she's actually Hong Kong U alumni herself. So she's also very excited to welcome you here to Brisbane. So you'll meet Kira as well when you're here with us.
So in order to put on this program, we work with a number of partners. We work with the Australian Homestay Network, and you're going to meet their coordinator, Leanne Wilson, a little bit later in this orientation. One of the things that we do on the in the immersion is that you'll spend a few days in Queensland schools. So we work with Moreton Bay College and Moreton Bay Girls College. And we also work with the UQ School of Languages and Culture. And we're very grateful to all these program partners for their support with this program that we bring to you.
Thank you, Philippa. I'm going to launch into some of the logistics of the program now. So I wonder if you can see 3 dates on screen and tell me what you think they mean. Why is the 27th of May important in the program? Tell me in the chat. What happens on the 27th of May? Any ideas? Athena, well done. Yes, it is the start of the online immersion program. So that's a Monday morning around about the same time. In fact, at 8:30 in the morning, we will commence classes. You're very lucky. In years gone by, your alumni started at 8 a.m. and based on their feedback, we've made it a little bit later. So 8:30 class starts, a healthy way for teachers of the future to get used to getting up and getting ready to go to work and school for 8:30 classes. So on the first day, though, we do recommend that you make sure you're up a little bit earlier and have some breakfast, have some coffee. It's a long day of 4 hours on that first day. So make sure you're up and ready and have everything sorted with your technology. So we'll be available from about 8:15 and kicking off class at 8:30 on day 1. So that's the 27th of May. What about the 10th of June? Any idea why that date is important? Yes, well, it's actually your first day of class in Brisbane because you arrive a little bit earlier, in fact. Bright and early. Hopefully you will have a lovely sleep on the plane and arrive well here in Brisbane early on Sunday the 9th of June. We will be there to meet you at the airport. So 10th of June, the next day, is your first day of classes. So that does mean that you have a little bit of time to meet your homestay families, become acquainted with Brisbane, have a bit of a rest before we go off into class on the 10th of June. And then the 5th of July, why is that important? Any ideas? The 5th of July? Yes, it's a sad day. We will be crying. It'll be graduation day on the 5th of July. So we will have a little graduation ceremony here on campus. We'll be live in person. And then you head off later in the evening on the Saturday, the 6th of July. So you have a little bit of time with your homestay families that day and packing time and all those sorts of things before you head home to Hong Kong. So 27th of May is the first date to keep in mind, and we'll be sharing lots more information during the program as well to help you pack and prepare and get ready as you leave on the Sunday, the 9th of June. I should also say that everything you see today in this presentation, we will share with you. You will receive the slides. You'll also receive the recording of this session if there's something you missed and want to go back to and have a look at, and a number of other things as well. But we were delighted to welcome your alumni last year. Our students also did a similar program of 2 weeks online and then 4 weeks here in Brisbane with us. In fact, we've been working with Hong Kong U alumni for almost 15 years. So maybe even when you head out on your placements in the future, you'll meet a lot of other teachers who have had Vicky as their teacher, or me as their teacher, or Kira or Philippa from Hong Kong U. So we'd love to share a little video of their experience last year. And my question for you is, as you watch the video, have a think about what's one thing you will bring to Brisbane based on what you see them doing. What's one thing you're going to bring to Brisbane? I'm actually going to ask Vicky to share the video because she's got it loaded.
Ready to rock and roll. Please let me know if you can't hear this. Hopefully this will be working fine. Let's go. What's one thing you are going to bring to Brisbane?
Oh, I'm feeling very emotional seeing those guys. We haven't seen them. What's one thing you're going to bring to Brisbane? Saw an umbrella there. Any other ideas of things you might bring? Yes, Philippa's bringing money for the gelato. Yeah, you need a little bit of cash when we go to the island. What else are you going to bring? Boxing gloves for the kangaroos.
I mean, yeah, you got to be careful of those roos.
Passport.
Or the back scratcher. Sun hat, yeah, good. Or passport, yeah, Anson, good on you.
Sandals, good idea.
Sunglasses.
Definitely.
Welcome, Fiona. Nice to meet you.
To my, oh, I don't think you're allowed to bring food, unfortunately.
We would love to sample some Hong Kong food, but unfortunately, as you'll discover when you go through some of our orientation packs, we can't bring any food from Hong Kong into Australia because we are an island. Our immigration is quite strict about no products coming into Australia, unfortunately. So let us share a little bit more with you about what to pack and what to bring and what's happening in a few moments' time. But you've seen some of the experiences that your colleagues have had, many of which you will also have as we move through the program. So of course, the academic component of the program is really important and a big part of your journey with us. But so are those opportunities to immerse yourself in culture, to immerse yourself in communication with Australians and your homestay family. And with your colleagues. So we're going to talk a little bit about the academics first, and then we'll share the full timetable with you so that you can get a sense for what's happening when, and also when you will have a little bit of free time if you're the kind of person who likes to plan ahead and make arrangements. So let's have a look at what we are going to learn. So we're going to be together for 6 weeks, but as Vivian and Rowena mentioned earlier, the first 2 weeks are actually the foundation for your experience here in Australia. So we'll be setting you up with some resources that you need for your teaching experiences when you come to us in Australia. So the first week is all about connecting with Australia. And so all of the reading activities, listening activities, and writing and speaking activities and things like that that we'll be demonstrating to you will also focus on your time here in Brisbane and connecting to some of those cultural experiences that you will have here. You will be teaching from week 1 in the program. So you will be having an opportunity to prepare a short lesson activity and sharing that with your colleagues. In fact, every week of the program, you will teach. So we're excited to give you that practical opportunity to start applying your practice straight away. Week 2, we're going to focus on setting up speaking activities. So we will provide you with some speaking activities for you to revise and prepare. And then you'll be working collaboratively with your peers to put together a demonstration of a speaking activity. In week 3, when you arrive in Brisbane, of course, we'll spend a little bit of time on that first day as a full orientation to our program and to Brisbane and to the University of Queensland campus. And also you'll be heading straight into Australian schools. So one of the things you might want to bring, I don't know if you saw some of your classmates, they were wearing their ties and shirts and they had their outfits ready for school visits. You will be joining and introduced as student teachers. So you will also have an opportunity to do a short teaching to some Australian kids. So you'll definitely want to make sure you pack some things that you can wear to the school visits. We've got lots of lists and things ready for you to go that tell you more about packing, but straight in your first week into Australian schools. Week 4, we'll be looking at textbooks in the classrooms and how we can integrate language arts and all those sorts of things, like a little bit of drama, some music, poetry, all those sorts of things, and bringing your textbooks to life and connecting that with the Hong Kong curriculum. In week 5, we're looking at grammar and how do we bring that to life and teach that creatively to our students. And the final week, we focus on promoting inclusive education. That's a really major feature of the Australian curriculum and also something that we want to encourage you to connect with the Hong Kong curriculum. Inclusive approaches to education. It's also a chance for you to reflect on the whole 6 weeks. So we have a short student showcase. That's an opportunity for you to create a short video to share your experiences of being here in Brisbane and what you're taking home with you to your classrooms and to your future careers as teachers based on your immersion experience. When you arrive with us on campus, you'll receive the full detailed program with very specific times and places and all those sorts of things. But we did want to give you the sample schedule now because there are a few things that we know you'll be most interested in terms of when you have a little bit of independent travel time and what some of the cultural experiences are, importantly, so you don't book those and go ahead and do them yourselves when they're already in your program. So let's have a little look at that now. There we go. So I'm actually going to give you a little quick quiz. It's only 2 questions. As you review the timetable, I want you to scan through and have a look for which weeks of the timetable have independent travel days and what are the 2 cultural excursions. What you're looking at is a Padlet, which is a digital notice board. Have you used Padlet before in your programs, in your classes? Yeah, I see some head nods, so we know what that is. So you know that you can click on the images to make them bigger and have a look through each week. So if you check the Zoom chat now, you can see the link to the Padlet and also those 2 questions. So have a little quick scan around. I'll give you a couple of minutes to do that. And we'll come back with you shortly. Just tell me in the chat if you've got the link. You can say, got it. Or a thumbs up. Have you got the link? You do need a password to enter. Well done. So the password is a small m for this one, meet QI. Meet QI. How did you go? Have you got it? Good, thank you. I'll give you 30 more seconds to see if you can find it. What are the 2 cultural excursions and which weeks have independent travel? Right. So, hopefully you will have discovered that there were 2 cultural excursions listed there. Lone Pine Wildlife Sanctuary, where you get to meet some koalas and get the best selfie with a kangaroo you've ever had in your life. and feed some other animals, meet some beautiful rainbow lorikeets, see a sheepdog show, and all sorts of amazing things. And then we will be heading out to North Stradbroke Island, which is just off the coast of Brisbane. It's about 45 minutes to 60-minute ferry ride away. So we'll be taking you there by bus and boat, and we'll be out for the day together exploring. But I want you to tell me, did anyone discover which weeks have independent travel time? These are the times that you'll be able to have some time off class and head away yourselves. Week 3 and week 6. Mohammed, Naz, Charlton, Jenny, Chloe. Yes, that's right. So in week 3, there's a little bit of time on the Friday afternoon. You're actually going to Lone Pine in the morning, and then you have Friday afternoon off. So that gives you an extended weekend there. So actually, you have on that week 6, it's the Monday that you have off. So in fact, if you were thinking of doing a weekend away somewhere, it's probably that final weekend of week 5 that is the best time for you to do that, because then you have 3 full days, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, coming into week 6. So we don't recommend that you try and squeeze in a trip away on Friday afternoon of week 3. It's a little bit tight. And if you had any troubles with flights or buses or anything like that, you might not make it back in time for Monday. So save if you want to do a full weekend away, I mean, it's up to you, of course, those days are yours, but that's just our recommendation. The end of week 5 gives you that little bit more time because it's a full day. Are there any questions coming into the chat? Vicky's saying Friday evening in week 4 is the choir performance for the singers in the group. Important. Thank you. So again, we're happy to chat more to you about the timetable and go through it in great detail with you week to week, and we'll share the full schedule with you on the 27th. But you can also access that at any time and have a look back. You'll receive that link in follow-up emails. So we did want to talk to you a little bit about what you can expect in terms of what you're going to learn. You know, there are 3 I's that are important to the program, really. The first is immersion, and we heard Vivian and Yunyi and Rowena mention that earlier. This is a full experience. It's an amazing opportunity to come and experience life in Australia and with all of your colleagues. And we do, of course, encourage the use of English as our language of instruction and interaction in all of our class activities, in the chats and all of those things, and discussion boards. And also you'll be learning some Aussie English. So one of the things our students love every week is collecting some colloquial expressions and words and phrases that have either caused some confusion with their homestay families, or that they've taken away and love and have become a part of their own vernacular moving forward in their lives too. So getting the full Aussie English experience while you're here as well. Interaction is important. I'm delighted to see that everyone has made a real effort to have their cameras on today. That's actually a participation requirement for your attendance during the online component. If you're off camera for more than 10 minutes without explanation, you are actually considered absent for that session. So we do ask that if you need to, we understand sometimes things happen. I don't know, maybe your cat falls off a chair or something terrible and you have to step away for 10 minutes or something, that's okay. Just as long as you're communicating with your trainers in the chat and saying, I'm sorry, Vicky, I have to do this, or I have to go to the bathroom or whatever, because the attendance is marked at 10 minutes. So of course, while you're with us in person and during the online program, we do not lecture. It will be all workshop style. So every day you'll be expected to come with your pens and paper and be ready to be a student and teaching, and off in breakout rooms discussing and pair work and group work and reading things, listening to things and watching things, and engaging with us in very active classes. And of course, we also value independence. So there is project-based learning throughout the program from week 1 all the way through to week 6, where there'll be some time allocated for you to work on your own projects. Some of those projects include lesson planning, building materials, making videos of your experience in Australia. And there'll be guidance from us as your trainers and tutors, but there's also just time for you to direct your own learning. And you'll also get to see us model and set up systems like Padlets and things like that you may be able to use with your students in the future, as we know that experiential learning and self-directed learning is still a big part of the Hong Kong school curriculums as well. Lots of our students and alumni in the past who are tutors and out working in schools tell us that the tools that they learned through the programs are still things they use today with their own classes. So we're delighted to get their feedback and hear what's working well with their students and share that with you. The big question we often have is, so what's the assessment and how will we be evaluated during the program? The immersion is a core component of your whole degree with the University of Hong Kong, and we've worked very closely with them to align our assessment accordingly. But our motto is practice makes progress. We don't expect people to have perfect performance in the task. This is a learning and professional development opportunity for you over the course of the next 6 weeks. So each week you'll engage in formative assessments. There are no exams in the program and there are no tests in the program, but your formative assessment class tasks include things like developing lesson outlines for a lesson you will teach, preparing teaching materials, delivering a mini lesson to your peers, sharing feedback with your peers, writing short reflections on Padlet, making videos of different things that you're experiencing. And also we ask you to do individual self-assessments at the end of your first week, at the end of your 3rd week, and in week 6 as well, so that we hear from you and have an opportunity to understand your experience and how things are going. Your trainers will also use a criteria in those self-assessments. They will also provide an assessment of how you're going. So nobody will ever get to week 6 and go, oh, I didn't know that I was not meeting all of the requirements. So definitely you'll have opportunities along the way to ensure that your professionalism, your engagement online, and your collaboration is appropriate, that you are developing your language for teaching, the kinds of English that we need as instructors, and giving instructions is a big focus of our program, for example, and that you are developing your skills in planning for learning, so that you're submitting your lesson outlines and lesson plans and working that feedback into the following week of your program. We'll tell you more about that when we commence day 1 on the 27th of May. Are there any questions that are coming up at this point about the program or assessment? I'll tell you more in just a moment about your Hong Kong assessment, or perhaps Vivian will. But any questions at this stage? Good. Okay. Well, you're very welcome. If something comes up a little bit later, feel free to pop it in the chat. So I'm going to pass over to Vivian now, who's just going to share a little bit about your expectations for your commitments to Hong Kong U as well.
Thank you, Fiona. So I think all of you have already seen how academic heavy the program is provided by QI. So on the Hong Kong U side, we hope there's a space for you to also explore on your personal growth in terms of perhaps your interaction with homestay families, dealing with homesick, or being in a school, teaching in an Australian school, maybe just your exposure to Australian students. So general reflection on your personal development and also your professional development is what we want to also have a glimpse on in our assessment or in our assignment for you guys. So in the mid-course reflection, which means it's towards the end of week 3, you'll be asked to, we invite you to write a 800 words reflection based on your exposure so far. And towards the end of the program, you're also invited to write a 1,200 words reflection on the summative program, so concluding the program. So one component is the reflection. The other component is your learning portfolio. So you'll be using your Padlet a lot in the program. So you'll be creating a lot of different teaching materials. You have to create videos and also lesson plans. So we want to have a collection of all these materials that you've created throughout the program. So another component of the end of program reflection or end of program assignment is your portfolio. So this portfolio is not just for us as a course reviewer to looking into what you've created, but it's also for your own personal development of preparing for a portfolio that will help you in job hunting or showing to, say, school principals of your creation from the program, at least from the immersion program, or you can continue to edit your portfolio later on. So you have a full pack of materials to be ready to be shown to school principals for job hunting purposes. So this is all hopefully to prepare you for becoming a teacher. So 3 main components, 3 main assignments that we ask of you. But with the end of program reflection, so one note is you can also choose to say, use a different mode of reflection. Say you can record a vlog, you can record a video that helps you reflect. So instead of just simply show us what you have done so far, but it's also there's a reflective component in your, say, video, or sometimes students may want to write a poem, for example. So if you choose to use a non-essay mode to fulfill this component, please also include 200 word of explanation of how this poem helps you reflect, or how this video helps you reflect. If you're working with something very abstract, say if you want to paint a painting to conclude your program, so also having that explanation of 200 word explanation helps us to understand your work better. So that is the component from, no, that is the assignment that we hope to receive from you. But actually, we need to receive from you. So last component is really just your end of program survey. So it's an online survey. It doesn't take you very long, maybe 5 minutes to 10 minutes. So we want to collect feedback from you on the program. So that helps us also streamline the program and also how to prepare our future cohorts for the program as well. So all these will be something that we hope to receive from you, and also to help you grow throughout the process when you prepare these materials. So I'll pass the time back to Fiona to see if she has anything to add with how the QR program has also been assigned to help you complete these components as well.
Thank you so much, Vivian. We really appreciate you sharing a little bit more about those assessments, and we'll do our best to share reminders with students as we move through our programs as well. So in a moment, I'm going to share with you another Padlet that has lots and lots of information about coming to Brisbane, life in Brisbane, etc. However, we do have our lovely guest, Leanne, joining us from Homestay Network Australia, and she'll be here with us in just a few moments' time. So what we'd like to do now to help you prepare to have a bit of a discussion about living in Australia with Leanne, it's a great opportunity to ask all of your questions. I'm actually going to pop you into breakout rooms for a few minutes with your classmates and ask you to think about being a guest in a new household, imagining yourself rocking up to Australia and arriving at your new home, walking in and meeting a new family. What are some of the things that you would like to know about life in homestay? And come up with at least 2 questions that you would like to ask Leanne when she arrives in a few moments' time. So we're going to pop you into breakout rooms with your classmates. You can say hello and good morning. How many questions do you have to come up with? Yes, well done, Jade. I like it. All right, so you'll be in quite large groups. So have a little chat with each other. We'll see you soon. I'll call you back in about 5 minutes' time. Rooms are open now. You can join. So welcome back, everybody. Thanks so much for forming some questions. We're delighted to welcome Leanne Wilson. If you give us a wave, Leanne, so they can find you who is the Brisbane Homestay Manager for the Australian Homestay Network. And she has a very important job of helping to arrange all of your families and working with homestay hosts to ensure that you have a really beautiful experience when you come to Australia. I'd like to ask Leanne to share a few remarks first of all, and then we'll open the floor to some questions from all of you. So please welcome Leanne. Yay.
Hi, everyone. I hope you're enjoying your orientation. We're really looking forward to welcoming you to Brisbane in June. The time between now and then will go really fast, so we're working hard to find you some lovely host families, and I know you're going to have a great time in Brisbane. Just wanted to, give yourself some information about myself. My name's Leanne. I've been working with AHN since 2017, and I was also a homestay student myself when I finished school. When I finished high school in Australia, I took a gap year and I went to Belgium. And during my time in Belgium, I lived with a host family. So I understand you're probably feeling a bit nervous and unsure about what to expect coming to a foreign country where you may not know the language and living with a local family. So I'm going to give you some tips and ideas that I felt worked well for me, and also that I've learned in my time working in homestay as well. So it's okay to be nervous. Your host family will understand that you're nervous, and it's okay to be unsure of things. It's always best to ask your host questions, even if it makes you feel a bit nervous. They have hosted other students before, and they're there to help you. They're going to be your family away from your own family. So please don't feel nervous. The host is there to help you, and there's no silly questions. It's be open and communicate as much as you can with your host family, because that will help with understanding each other and clearing up any miscommunications. If you don't understand something that your host says, it's okay to ask them to repeat it for you, or ask them to speak slower. You can ask them to write it down if you think it's easier for you to read what they are saying. And you can even, if you're really struggling, use translation apps on the phone. It's okay to ask questions and to let them know that you don't understand. You can work together to understand each other, and that will really go a long way with helping, and it will also really improve your language skills. I also recommend being open-minded and trying new things. It is nerve-wracking coming to a new country, and there's new experiences and new foods and new way of life. But I find that the more open-minded you are to giving things a try and trying the new experiences, the most you're going to get out of your homestay experience, and you will learn lots and you will grow a lot as a person, and you'll really cherish those memories and experiences when you go home. The host will talk with you about some house rules when you first arrive to homestay. So please be mindful of the host rules. They can vary depending on the different host home. But we have some general host rules as well that the host will share with you when you arrive. If you have any problems during homestay, you can talk to your host about it, but you can also contact me and my team, and we are there to help facilitate any problems you have and fix any miscommunications and any misunderstandings. So we're always there to help the hosts and the students make sure that everyone has a wonderful experience. Okay. Yeah, so I might have a quick mention about food in homestay, because I find that this is something that does pop up a fair bit. So in Australia, we typically don't have hot breakfast in the morning. Breakfast is more of a help yourself style. So the things that your host will provide for your breakfast is things like cereal, toast, fruit, milk, tea, coffee, and the host will show you where the breakfast food is, and you'll be able to prepare it yourself for your morning meals. Occasionally, we may have a hot breakfast on the weekends, but that will vary depending on the host family and what their family breakfast weekend routine is like. For your dinner, you'll usually have a sit-down hot meal with your host family. If you're not going to be home for dinner, you can just let your host family know, and they'll put the dinner aside for you, and you can warm it up in the microwave when you get home. But usually for dinner, we ask the host to serve, well-balanced dinner-sized portions, and sitting down together as a family to speak about the day. You'll expect to get things like meat and vegetables, or stir fries, curries, noodles. We're a very multicultural country, and we like to eat very different foods. I know in my family, we eat a lot of curries, we eat a lot of stir fries, we will do stews in the slow cooker, sometimes we'll have barbecues. So there's lots of very different meals that we like to prepare, and lots of different variety. And you can let your host know if there's any foods that you do like and foods that you don't like to eat. And if you don't like spicy food, and yeah, so that's a bit about food. Yeah, I think that's the main things I wanted to cover, but I'd love to hear your questions and how we can help.
Thank you so much, Leanne. Well, we know the students definitely have some questions. They might have revised now. They've got some information. I'm going to ask room 1 to share their questions first, if that's okay. Perhaps, Anson, as seen as though you're going to be one of our leaders in the program, and so you could kick off your questions for room 1.
So we're also thinking of questions like, are there any home rules that we're expected to follow, or we're expected to communicate ask whether these home rules are, what these home rules are. So would that be?
So we have a document which has house rules on it that the host families will show you when you first arrive. So the main host rules are quite generic. So, letting your host know if you're not going to be home for dinner, or if you're going to be out late at night so that they don't worry, keeping the bedroom clean, not eating inside the bedroom, those sorts of things. But then the host may have specific rules for their home, and that can vary depending on the host family's home. So, for example, some host families will wash the students' clothing with the family's washing, and they're happy to wash it for you. Others might let you know that you will do your own washing on the weekend or at a specific day, and show you how to do the washing. It really depends on the host family and what works for them. So the host will sit down with students when you first arrive and go through those rules with you and let you know the expectations.
Thank you. We might go to room 2 and then we'll come back if we have time to more questions from you, Anson.
Sure.
Team. So in room 2 we had Catherine and Emily. Yo-Yo, perhaps you could share your questions, maybe Yo-Yo.
Oh, yes. So we have some questions regarding transportation. So we're wondering if the homestay family lives far away from campus, so it takes time for us to go back to campus. So we would like to know more information about that.
Yeah, so the public transport in Brisbane is probably going to be a little bit longer than maybe what you're used to in Hong Kong. We will find a homestay that's less than 60 minutes on public transport to the university, and that will include walks and transfers. So walking to the bus stop or the train station from your host home, and then the services that you take to school. And so the 60 minutes is door to door. Average students will be probably traveling at least 40 to 55 minutes to the university. Unfortunately, we don't have very many host families who live close by to the university or in the city centre. Just with the nature of how Brisbane is spread out and the suburbs and the location of UQ, it's unlikely that we would have a host family who's less than 30 minutes public transport to the school. And your host family will assist you with learning the public transport route so you know where to go on the first day.
That's great. Thank you so much, Yo-Yo. Again, we might come back to room 2 if there's more time, but I'd love to give room 3 an opportunity to ask some questions. So there's Elise or Athena. Maybe you could ask your questions from room 3.
We are concerned about the religion of the host family because we don't know whether we have to pray with them, pray together before the meal or before the bed.
Yeah, so that's an interesting question. We don't usually ask the religion of the host families during the interview. Sometimes if a host family is religious, they may mention it. Generally speaking, people in Australia aren't overly religious, so it would be quite uncommon to find a host family who prays before dinner or before bed. I don't think we would have too many host families who would have that requirement, to be honest with you. Yeah.
But I think if a family did some practices, I'm sure they would invite you to join, but you wouldn't be required to join.
Yeah, I agree. If that's their belief, they may invite you to, but you wouldn't have to if you didn't feel comfortable.
Yeah. That's a great question. We've actually never had that before.
No, that's a first for me too. I like it.
Really pleased. But of course,
Thank you.
we are aware, and we're really grateful that you took the time to do your homestay forms and to share some information about yourselves, because that's then made available to the host as well. So that helps to clarify and to align as best we can your expectations and the homestays as well. So I think we are coming towards
Can I just add in there, Fiona, that there will also be an opportunity soon, we'll let you know, for you to introduce yourself to your homestay family by writing them soon. You will upload a letter of introduction to your homestay portal to tell your host family a little bit about you in advance of your arrival, but we'll let you know that soon in the future. Okay? Thanks.
Thank you so much. And look, we don't have time for more questions, but that's not to say that we can't share them. So I'm going to share a platform in a moment with the students that we can continue these conversations, and we'll let you know, Leanne, as things come up. But thank you so much for joining us. We know it's a busy time for homestays across Australia, so we appreciate you joining us.
You're welcome. It's lovely to see everyone.
We'll say thank you. Thanks so much, Leanne.
No problem. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
What great questions. Well done. We're really pleased that you had that opportunity to do that. All right, we are coming to the final moments of our time together. We've got just a few minutes left. So I'm going to share a tool that we've prepared for you. And your fabulous alumni have helped us with some Q&A as well from the past of things they wanted to know. So we've included them on a new Padlet, which I will share in the chat with you now. Note there's a capital M for the password here. And this has everything you need to know about coming to Brisbane, everything you've heard today, everything you've seen today, and more. So you'll be delighted to meet Coco Koala in a photo here, but in real life soon, who's going to walk you through and give you some top tips as you make your way through the Padlet. This time, I'm actually going to ask you to come in and write a comment on the hello post here. So as you arrive in the Padlet, please find the welcome and come and put a little comment here to say, hello, I'm here, I've got it. Thank you. I can see Leslie is there. Thank you. How about you guys? Check the Zoom chat now, please, if you haven't already, for the link. And come and say hello. I'll stop sharing. See, Philip is there, Vicky's there, Leslie's there. Sandra, hello.
Sandra?
Hi, Charlton, great.
Hi, Charlton. Hi, Mary. Hi, Agri. I'm so looking forward to meeting you all.
Yeah.
We're going to have the best time. I mean, no promises, but a few promises. I think it'll be the best time.
Hi, Mo. Hi, Emily. Hi, Catherine, Jenny. Rowena's there, Jade.
So if you don't already have a Padlet account, it's free.
Una, yay. Great name. Jade. Wonderful. Yes. So in fact, there's a little bit of information and some things for you to do on the Padlet. Now that you have access to it, I'm going to share my screen again. So I'll ask you to follow along on my screen as I point out a few things that we expect you to look at prior to arrival. So you'll notice the orientation slides are here that you have seen us sharing today. So if you want to click back through things, it's a digital slide set, so it will link out to all the things you've seen today. Also, that Padlet that you looked at earlier about the sample timetable, you can see that again and access it anytime from here. The recording from today's session for any classmates who missed bits, or we could see some of you on the move. So if you've missed some things and want to come back and have a look, there's a video coming soon after the session. Really importantly, we will receive an email, but also you can find it here. Joining our classroom on day 1, the Zoom link is here. It's just a hyperlink. So if I were you, I would bookmark this Padlet right now on your browser or in your phones, or we'll also send it around by emails. But this is going to be your preparation toolkit as you come on in. We'll ask you some things to prepare to set up your space at home. Making sure you have all your equipment ready. It looks like your Zoom's pretty good to go, but perhaps updating if you haven't already. When you join us for the program, it won't be appropriate for you to join by phone. We understand today, of course, but during the program, we do expect you to be on a computer and a large screen device for you to be able to type and communicate easily with us and be in breakout rooms and things.
And I will just add to that, Fiona, ideally on your own computer, and not sort of sharing with somebody else in the same room.
Yes, good point.
No, I mean, Jenny and Chloe, obviously for today, no problem at all, but yeah.
Yes, of course. And the same, if you're less familiar with Padlet, make yourself a little bit more familiar. There's also the digital tool Canva we'll be using in week 1. So again, if you want to get ahead, or those of you, I can see some heads nodding, know what that is already. You can also explore Canva, so you can even get ahead on some of the tasks you have to do in week 1. Importantly, and as I mentioned, we will share again by email with you, we've included our student handbook here. In the student handbook, you'll find all the key details about who to contact. Even our phone numbers are there. If you're concerned, you're welcome to share this with your families. Some information about life in Brisbane. Coming to Brisbane, the link to this Padlet is here. Again, we'll share it with you. But there's also our code of conduct. And it's important as we will be engaging on campus and also with the Australian community and the Australian public, that we ask all of our students who join us at the Queensland Institute to acknowledge the code of conduct in how we interact with each other and with the people that our partners that we work with. So it's some general rules about things like demonstrating respect for each other, for inclusion, for responsible use of technology and alcohol and drug use and those sorts of things, and complying with Australian law. So we will send around a link for you to acknowledge the code of conduct once you've had a chance to read it.
It's also there on the next page, Fiona. So the next page goes down to the social media guidelines, and then right down the bottom, there's a click here to acknowledge that you've read. And we'll be asking you to do that before you start your online program, please. And obviously, if you haven't done it, we'll be asking you to do that. We'll be following up with you. Thank you.
Yeah, for Friday the 24th. Terrific. So there's lots of things for you there, lots about the meals in homestays. These are questions and answers from your alumni telling us about their experiences. So it's good to have a look at the essentials of what to pack for those of you who like a list, things like pajamas, etc., professional clothes. Lots and lots of things to explore along the way. Some information, those things that Leanne mentioned here about homestays, dress codes for your school experience, public transport, everything you need to know. Again, we'll be going through all of this with you on Monday the 27th and making sure that you are ready for your arrival in Australia, but you can also be prepared. So can I just get a thumbs up from everyone if you have received the Padlet now? Can you give me a thumbs up either digitally or, okay. All right, good. So I might Just be there, Jade. Not sure. It's okay. We'll send it through. All right. Thanks so much, everyone. In our last 60 seconds together, I really just wanted to say thank you so much for joining us and for staying for a few minutes to make sure you have all the preparation tools ready to go. And we are excited to welcome you back to Australia and see you on Monday, the 27th of May. Woohoo!
Kick
Let's
this program
do
off.
it. Gonna be amazing. Thank you, everyone, for your time today.
So before we send the students to leave, I would just want to add a few notes on some of the reminders. So with attendance, I think maybe it wasn't mentioned earlier in our emails, but then just to make sure that we are on the same page, we actually require 100% attendance from all of you, meaning if you're sick or if you have any personal engagement, please contact us, send email to us before your absence. So at times we received messages and emails from students only 1 second before the lesson starts. So I think it will help very much if we could have better preparation of your attendance and your whereabouts. So that will also save us some effort in trying to locate where you are as well. Also with the place-based component of the program, we also expect 100% attendance. And also, if you're late, please tell Fiona, Philippa, also Vicky about your friends about you will be late. So that tutors will be preparing for your attendance. And also with school experience, we hope that punctuality is extremely important because from what I understand, you will be taking a coach altogether to the school. So if one person is late, then it's going to cause a lot of delay to the school experience as well. So the second thing is read your handbook. So all the information is given to you. Once something's very important to you will be, say, medical care, where should you get it, and in case of any situations, how should you deal with the situation? So I think it's all being included in the handbook. So read the handbook really thoroughly and see if you have any questions. If you have any, feel free to email us, or on the 27th, when the program starts, you can also ask any questions. Lastly, with your flight, we have assigned, there will be a transit in Singapore. So we have arranged Fiona, and Anson, thank you very much for being the leader of the program, a leader of the group. So they will be kind of almost like a shepherd and bringing you to the gate, or hopefully you stick together so you don't miss the departure time, for example. So hopefully you can get through the transit safely together, and all our QI colleagues will be coming out, or QI colleagues will be there in the airport collecting you guys. So you are well taken care of. So be safe together. So lastly is, if you feel, I understand staying in, say, be away from home for a month, it could be daunting. You may experience homesick as well. So that is why you are not thrown to Australia by Hong Kong U and you be left alone. So that's not the case. Rowena and I will be visiting you guys at times. So if you have any questions, any problem, or anything that you want to share with us, say if you're homesick and you want to bring something from Hong Kong that will help you with homesick. So that is something that we hope to support you as well. So you're not being left alone. So just remember, you'll be supported by your peers, and also colleagues from Hong Kong US will be here to support you. And please share with us with any difficulties that you face. We'll try our best to make your experience as fruitful as possible. But then also, that also means we expect 100% professionalism from you. Respect your host families, respect your tutors, respect your lessons, and respect how you can behave as a professional pre-service teacher. So I understand today is an orientation and some of you may be on the move, but then in online sessions, we don't expect that to happen. We hope you could be 100% attentive to the lesson, because it's impossible for you to be on the move during the lesson. You will be asked to do a lot of different academic work, discussion. It's not conducive if you were to arrange, say, commuting time in between the sessions. So be aware of all these expectations, and I am sure this again will be a highlight of the program. So if you have any questions, please ask. Through email.
Thank you so much, Vivian. We really appreciate your support and sharing those messages as well. And we are delighted to welcome you to Australia and to the online program commencing on the 27th of May. Have a lovely afternoon. Maybe it's breakfast time for you guys, I'm not sure. And we will see you very soon. Take care, everybody, and thank you for joining us.
Lovely to meet you.